You look a little sleepy today. Did you stay up late last night?
I did. I was finishing a report, and I did not realize how late it was.
That explains the coffee in your hand. Was the report difficult?
Not difficult, but I kept revising small details because I wanted it to sound clear.
I know that feeling. Small edits can take forever.
Exactly. I thought I would finish by 10, but it was almost midnight.
No wonder you look tired. Did you at least eat breakfast?
Just a banana. I was running late, so that was all I had.
That is not enough for a long morning.
I know, but I did not have time to make anything.
There is a cafe downstairs. We could grab something before the first meeting.
That sounds great. I was hoping I could get food before my stomach started complaining.
I am going there in about 10 minutes. Do you want to come with me?
Yes, please. I only need to send one quick email first.
No problem. I can wait by the elevator.
Perfect. Give me 5 minutes, and I will meet you there.
By the way, how did your manager react to the report?
She liked the main idea and asked me to present it tomorrow morning.
That is good news, but I can see why you were up late.
Yes, I wanted the report to be strong before I shared it with the whole team.
Are your slides finished, or do you still need to work on them?
The slides are mostly done, but I am still rewriting the opening.
The opening is important. It sets the tone for everything else.
That is exactly why I keep changing it. I want it to sound confident, not boring.
What are you trying to say in the first minute?
I want to explain the problem clearly and then show why our plan makes sense.
Then, maybe keep it simple. Start with the problem, the cost, and the solution.
That structure might help. I think I have been trying to say too much at once.
Most people do and they feel nervous. They try to prove everything immediately.
That is me. I keep adding extra details because I'm afraid someone will question the plan.
Extra details can help later, but the opening should be easy to follow.
You are right. If the beginning is clear, people will probably listen more carefully.
Exactly. Once they trust your direction, the details feel easier.
I like that way of thinking. It makes the presentation feel less overwhelming.
What is the part you are most worried about?
Probably the budget section. I need to explain why we should spend more now to save time later.
That can work if you use a concrete example. Do you have one?
Yes, I do. Our last campaign was delayed because we approved everything too slowly.
That is a strong example because everyone remembers that delay.
True, and it shows the cost of waiting without sounding too negative.
Are there any team members who might push back on your plan?
A couple of people are worried about the timeline.
Do they think the schedule is too ambitious?
Yes, they support the idea, but they are not sure we can finish on time.
Then it may help to show which steps can happen in parallel.
Good point. If I make the schedule more visual, it might look more realistic.
A simple timeline could do that. You do not need anything too fancy.
I can add one this afternoon. That would probably answer 2 questions at once.
Also, you can say you are open to feedback on the timing.
I want to sound flexible, but I do not want to look unprepared.
Flexibility does not mean weakness. It shows you understand the project can change.
That is reassuring. I always worry about sounding uncertain in meetings.
Try using confident language with room for discussion.
Like what?
Something like, "This timeline is realistic if we confirm the marketing assets by Friday."
That sounds much better than saying, I hope we can finish on time.
Yes, because it gives a condition instead of a vague hope.
I am writing that down. It is a useful phrase.
Another good one is, to keep the project on schedule, we need early approval on these 3 items.
I like that too. It sounds clear and professional.
Presentations feel easier when the phrases are ready in your head.
Definitely. Sometimes I know the idea, but I lose time searching for the right words.
That happens to everyone, even native speakers.
It is still frustrating when I know what I want to say.
Of course. But if you prepare key sentences, you will feel more in control.
That makes sense. I do better when I rehearse the difficult parts in advance.
Do you usually sleep badly before presentations?
Almost every time. My brain keeps replaying possible mistakes.
I used to do that too.
Really? You always seem calm before meetings.
I look calm now, but I learned a few habits the hard way.
I would love to hear them because I need better habits.
First, I write my opening and closing sentences the night before.
Why those parts, specifically?
Because the beginning and the end are where people often freeze.
That is true. If I start badly, I feel nervous for the rest of the talk.
Exactly, a smooth first minute gives you momentum.
I never thought about it that way, but it is true.
Second, I practice out loud instead of only reading silently.
I usually read in my head and then I sound stiff when I speak.
Speaking out loud helps your mouth get used to the rhythm.
That explains why I sometimes stop in the middle of a sentence.
And third, I mark short pauses in my notes.
Do pauses really make that much difference?
They do. Pauses make you sound calm, and they give people time to absorb your point.
I usually rush when I am anxious, so pauses would probably help me a lot.
They also help you breathe. That matters more than people realize.
Breathing is the first thing I forget when I am nervous.
Then tomorrow, your goal is not to sound perfect. Your goal is to sound clear and steady.
That feels much more achievable than trying to sound perfect.
Besides the presentation, what else is on your schedule today?
I have a team meeting at 11 and a call with our supplier after lunch.
That is a full day.
Yes, and I still need to answer a stack of messages before noon.
What about you? Are you busy today too?
Fairly busy. I need to submit expense forms and send a client update before lunch.
Are you still meeting that client on Friday?
Yes, unless they change the time again.
I remember you said they rescheduled twice already.
They did, so I am keeping my expectations low.
Hopefully this time they stick to the plan.
I hope so. I would like one normal week without last-minute surprises.
Same here. This month has felt longer than usual.
Maybe because every week has had some kind of urgent issue.
That is true. Even small problems seem bigger when they arrive all at once.
Exactly. I am not even sure I am tired from work or from constant switching.
Constant switching is exhausting. Your brain never gets a clean break.
That describes my week perfectly.
Do you have any plans this weekend to recover a little?
I might visit my parents if I am not too tired on Saturday morning.
That sounds nice. Do they live far away?
Not too far. It is about an hour by car if traffic is normal.
An hour is manageable and a change of scene might help.
I think so too. My mother always cooks too much food, and I never complain about that.
That alone sounds worth the drive. What does she usually make?
Usually grilled fish, soup, and 3 side dishes I did not even ask for.
Now you are making me hungry, and we have not even reached the cafe yet.
Sorry, I started the food conversation, but you are the one making me want breakfast faster.
That is fair. What are you thinking of ordering?
Probably a sandwich and some fruit. I want something light but filling.
Good choice. I might get eggs and toast if they still have the breakfast set.
You always order something practical.
I only become practical when I am hungry and busy.
That is actually a useful survival skill.
Do you normally eat a full breakfast before work?
Not every day. On quiet mornings, I just have yogurt or oatmeal at home.
So today must feel unusually rushed to you too.
It does. I woke up on time, but I got distracted reading an email thread.
That is dangerous first thing in the morning. One message can steal 20 minutes.
Exactly. And then the whole routine falls apart.
Mornings are fragile like that. One small delay changes everything.
Yes, especially when traffic decides to join the problem.
Was your commute bad today?
Slower than usual because of the rain.
I noticed the roads looked crowded. Did you drive in?
No, I took the bus because I did not want to deal with parking.
That was probably the better decision.
Maybe, although the bus was full and someone kept talking loudly on the phone.
That can ruin a quiet morning very quickly.
It really can. I was trying to review my notes, and it was impossible.
Do you ever listen to podcasts on the way to work?
Sometimes, it helps when I want to use the commute for something useful.
What kind of podcasts do you listen to?
Mostly short business, English episodes, and a few interview shows.
That sounds useful for your presentation skills too.
It is. Listening to natural speech gives me better phrases than memorizing isolated vocabulary.
I agree. Context makes phrases easier to remember.
Exactly. When I hear how people react in real conversations, the language feels more alive.
Do you repeat the phrases out loud, or do you just listen?
On the way home, I sometimes repeat them quietly to practice pronunciation.
That is basically shadowing and it works well.
I have heard of shadowing, but I have not done it consistently.
It improved my rhythm more than grammar exercises ever did.
Really? That is interesting, because I still translate in my head too much.
Shadowing can help with that. It trains you to respond in chunks instead of word by word.
That is exactly what I need. I lose confidence when I build every sentence from scratch.
Then think in situations, not grammar rules.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. If you are late, your brain should go straight to, sorry, traffic was terrible, not to a grammar chart.
That feels much more realistic and much faster.
Right. The goal in conversation is quick, clear communication.
I think that is why I enjoy dialogue-based lessons more than long word lists.
Same here. Useful phrases stick when you can imagine yourself using them.
Yes, and I remember them even better when the conversation feels realistic.
That is why your presentation practice should include possible questions, too.
Good point. I should not only memorize my main speech.
Exactly. If someone asks about cost or timing, you want your answer ready.
I can predict a few questions already, especially from finance.
Then write the top 5 questions and prepare short answers.
Short answers are probably safer than long ones anyway.
Definitely. A short answer sounds clearer, and you can always add detail if needed.
That would also stop me from talking in circles.
Do you want to practice a few questions with me after lunch?
I would appreciate that a lot.
We can take 15 minutes in the small meeting room.
That should be enough to test the difficult parts.
Let us start with your opening, then the budget section, then possible objections.
I like that order. It covers the parts I am worried about most.
Good. And if you get stuck, I will ask a simpler question first.
Thanks. That will help me relax instead of panicking.
No problem. Sometimes confidence comes from one successful practice round.
I believe that. I usually feel better once I hear myself do it once.
Also, bring a printed copy if that helps you feel grounded.
I was actually thinking about that. Having paper in my hand makes me feel more prepared.
Then do it. Small comforts matter on presentation days.
That is a kind way to put it. I tend to judge myself for needing those things.
There is no reason to judge it. If something helps you perform better, it is practical.
I need to remember that instead of trying to look effortlessly confident.
Most people who look effortless are just well prepared.
That makes me feel better because preparation is something I can control.
Exactly. You cannot control every question, but you can control your structure and your mindset.
That is a good reminder for tomorrow.
We should probably head to the cafe now before the line gets long.
Yes, and I need that sandwich before I start making more mistakes.
Bring your notebook too. We can use breakfast time to review your opening.
Good idea. If I say it once now, it will feel less scary later.
Then it is settled. Food first, one quick rehearsal and a calmer morning.
That sounds like the best plan we have made all week.
See? A decent breakfast and a clear plan can fix a stressful day.
I already feel better, and the day has barely started.